Hey, there was a weird moment at the leaders' debates in Montreal last week where the CBC sort of stopped reporting on the news about the election and instead turned into a lobby group trying to get the Debates Commission to ban Rebel News from being accredited, even though two courts had said it was an illegal infringement on our freedom of the press to keep us out. Nonetheless, the CBC, and in particular, their host David Cochrane, who I'd actually never spoken to before, they were just obsessed with getting us kicked out. Talk about inside baseball, though. No one else in the country cared. Now, I watched some of David Cochrane's reports, including him making the allegation that Rebel News was somehow doing illegal things with our beautiful billboard truck. Cochrane actually told that lie to the debates commissioner himself as part of his vendetta at Rebel News. It was really weird. Here, watch just for a moment.
Okay, so I know the past precedents, but like this is a filing with Elections Canada from this election where Rebel News has filed as a third party advertising group. They are raising money in their own documents for partisan political activities. That's not what a journalistic organization does, right? So I appreciate that you've lost in the past, but if they are raising money to run ads to influence the outcome of an election, surely a judge would look at that and say, this isn't a journalistic organization.
Perhaps we didn't get there.
But why not? Like, I understand you lost before. This is a material change in their conduct. They have this truck going around with a video wall promoting conspiracy theories and allegations, mostly against Mark Carney. Let's face it, like we're showing it there. You can see this on the screen. That is one of the few things we can show on TV that appears on the side of that. I mean, this looks like evidence in a court battle. I mean, you are entrusted with this authority. Why not fight for what you believe here?
We showed them in the last lawsuit doing political advocacy, and it did not convince the judge. So for us, this agreement, this argument was not going to be more effective this time.
Yeah, that's sort of crazy. And they also complained that we had a third-party campaign group, just like the CBC has, just like most journalists do with their union uniform. Anyways, Cochrane was factually inaccurate there. Those ads on the billboard truck are clearly marked. They weren't Rebel News ads. The CBC was accusing us of doing something contrary to the Elections Act. This was on top of a full day's defamation of us. It really was remarkable, the vendetta. So I waited until Cochrane was clearly in a break, and I politely approached him on his set to ask him if I could come on a show, even for a few minutes, to try to set the record straight. It's weird that he was spending so much time slandering us without even asking us for our side of the story. I mean, we were right there. So I waited until it was really clear that he wasn't on TV, because I saw other guests standing up and leaving the set, and a producer in a bright red shirt standing up to do things on the set, obviously blocking the camera shot. So I knew that they weren't on the air. And I went over to ask for a right of reply, and I was refused. So I left after just over a minute. They never did let me or any other rebels on to correct their lies. In fact, they did the opposite. After I asked for a rebuttal, they ran to Michel Cormier, that's that debate commissioner, and they told him that I had come onto their set and into their set, that's what they said, and that I wouldn't leave, that's what they said, and that I interrupted a live broadcast, that's what they said. They demanded that I be kicked out for this. Now, obviously, Cormier had told the CBC that based on that complaint, he would indeed kick me out, because Cochrane reported on TV that I had been kicked out. Did you see this?
Here's what's going on here. To my left, there's the room there where the media is gathered. It's where they can watch the debates. This is where the scrums are happening with the leaders. There was some sort of an altercation inside there in the last little while involving Ezra Levant, who is the head of Rebel News, and other journalists. Michel Cormier has escorted Ezra Levant out. His credentials, we believe, has been revoked.
But that just didn't happen, because I showed Cormier a video of the whole incident, and he immediately realized that the CBC had lied to him about us and what I had done. Believe me, Michel Cormier does not like me and Rebel News, and he would have loved to have kicked me out. And frankly, if I really did crash the CBC's live broadcast, they probably should have kicked me out. But David Cochran just made up a false story. Another defamation of us. Cochran was still raging about us, and here's what he wrote on Twitter. He said, "We were playing a 60-second report when Ezra accosted me. He wouldn't stop. So the control room in Ottawa kept playing tape to prevent the incident from carried live on air. The debate commission wouldn't take action because we were in commercial. We weren't. So this was allowed to continue. We had to scramble to cover the incident by placing tape until it was over. No proper professional interrupt the broadcast or work of another professional journalist. We were inside an RCMP swept security perimeter today for our job, and the Montreal police had to be called, and we had to sneak out of the building we owned with the help of security to get home safely." Oh my God, was it really that bad? Is any of that true? If it was true, you'd think the CBC would release video of it. I mean, after all, they literally caught it all on camera. Is it really true that I wouldn't stop? Is it really true that they had to scramble? Or is it in fact true that they were on a break and their own producer was leisurely puttering around the set, doing things I don't know exactly what he was doing before I arrived, while I was there, and after I left? Did they really scramble, given that our entire chat was about a minute? And did they really call police? And did they really have to sneak out at night because of their safety? Is all of that true? Is any of that true? Well, lucky for me, we recorded the incident. Take a look at the full, unedited interaction. Observe that when I arrived, a producer was standing in the shot. Observe how I asked if I could somehow reply to their day-long attacks on me, and I was told no. And after asking a few times, I just left. And if you can find any police in the video, let me know. Okay, let's take a look. Play the tape. So you can see I arrive and there's a CBC guest. Okay, stop right there. So that was a guest getting off the panel. And you can see someone in a red shirt or sweater puttering with Rosemary Barton's earpiece or something. So you could see that first guest who was just leaving the CBC panel. He was in the shot where I am now. He casually said hi to me. You can see there's a producer in red who's puttering around in the shot. They're all clearly on a break. And I introduced myself immediately and said why I was there. Here, watch a little bit more.
Yeah.
Ezra was here. How you doing?
How you doing? I'm live on the air.
Okay, well, I've come to request.
I'm live on the air. Like, I don't interrupt your broadcast, and ask you not to interrupt mine. So.
Okay, stop for a second. He said they're live on the air. Is that true? Do you see the guy in the red sweater with the hat on, puttering with Rosemary Barton's equipment? Was this really on air? This was happening before I approached. This is why I approached. I could see that they were not on air at all. Maybe they were about to be, but not in any way that that guy in the red vest took seriously. You'll see that he was there before I arrived, while I was there, and after I was gone. Was he scrambling? Were they talking at all? No, they weren't. Here, keep playing some more.
Here.
Can I come back and
You want to get involved?
But you defame me on TV.
We have to move it now.
I'm live on the air.
So we have to.
We're going to ask you to please respect our broadcast.
Okay, can I come back on and rebut some?
I am live on the air.
Well, I think we have to correct something you said.
Sir, we have to interrupt the conversation.
Did you see my challenge?
Okay, stop it right there. So I didn't go to talk to Rosemary Barton. I mean, she lied about us in other ways, but I really went because David Cochran had this whole day-long vendetta against us. Rosemary Barton stood up instead of doing whatever she was going to do and squared up with me and called security to have me thrown out. All right. I mean, in fact, you can see I step down and start to leave. I'm only a few seconds away from leaving. But these people were not on air. They were not trying to make a broadcast. They were not in any rush at all. The fella in the red sweater kept doing what he was doing, but Rosemary Barton was quite aggressive, or at least tried to get the security to be aggressive. But, you know, I left soon enough. Here, take a look. All right. Well, David, I'd like to come back on and rebut some of your errors about Rebel News.
That's cool. See you later. Have a good debate.
Who can I talk to about that?
Hey,
You
go
guys
into
wanna
the media
remove
room,
him?
Ezra. Like, I know you're gonna, look, I know you're doing your thing. I'm doing a show.
But you
I don't interrupt your
defamed them.
broadcast.
You defamed them. Is there someone I can talk to on your team?
Sorry.
Is there someone
So
on your
stop
team I
for
can
there.
talk to?
So by now I'm out of the shot. The guy in the red sweater is still there doing, I'm not sure what he was doing, but he was still doing it. They're obviously not live. None of them are live. None of them are being broadcast. And I've stepped away because, frankly, I don't want to, put the security in a pickle. They were commanded by Rosemary Barton to shoo me away. But I'm still asking, is there anyone I can talk to? I mean, they had talked about us all day and said some very particular false facts about us. They defamed us. And I waited till there was a moment to talk to me. I mean, normally you reach out to someone you're going to attack in journalism just to make sure you get your facts straight. They didn't do that. I positively said, hey, is there anyone I can talk to? Can I come on the show? You said some defamatory things. I'd like to rebut them, even for a few minutes. And all they said was, we're busy. Go away, go away, go away, go away. Rosemary Barton really felt like chiming in for some reason. I think she's got a bit of she hates Rebel News, but I made a gentle crack about the two of us. I had challenged her, the two of us, to have a public fitness contest. I don't think she liked that very much. Anyhow, keep playing the rest of the tape.
David?
David's in charge. Yeah.
Who is, sorry?
David's in charge.
Well, but is there like a producer or a lawyer or something?
So stop there again. Rosemary Barton literally pivoted in her seat, spun around, because she still wanted to argy-bargy with me. These are not people who were on air. These are not people who were busy. These are people who were still puttering in some break. The guy in the red jacket is still there. The reason I tell you all this is twofold. To let you know just how unprofessional they are in terms of getting the other side of the story. All day they had been attacking and smearing and lying about Rebel News. But they never once reached out to us to check a fact or invite us on for some right of reply. Never once. So I calmly waited till I could see they were not on air to ask for that opportunity. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't swear. I didn't shout. I didn't call security. I just said, can I come on the show? Who do I talk to? Is there a producer? Is there a lawyer? You'd think at that point they would say, send an email, or here's a phone number, or we'll send someone over. They basically said, no, we will never platform you. That's essentially what they said. So I left. Total engagement time, just over 80 seconds. Play the rest of the clip.
All right, this is my template, correct? All right. Well, we'll have to find another way. And that's it. Is that how David Cochrane described it? It is not. The CBC are liars. David Cochrane and Rosemary Barton, they're liars. They lied about Rebel News. They lied about our reporter, Drea Humphrey. I don't know if you saw, but in her case, they actually were forced to issue a grudging correction, even though that correction wasn't man enough to say sorry to Drea, or in fact to say who their correction was about, who they smeared at all. I think the CBC are out of control. They were not acting as journalists at the debate. They were Mark Carney's personal smear machine. They were trying to get us kicked out of there. David Cochrane lied on the air, and then he lied in his tweets, and then he lied to the Debates Commission. You saw his tweets. He lied. We never interrupted their broadcasts at all. Never trust a word the CBC says. Always remember, they hate you. Sign our petition at cbclies.com. The petition is that they should stop treating the CBC as a personal vengeance machine. I know they don't like Rebel News, and I know they hate me and hate Drea Humphrey and hate our team. But if they're going to be journalists, they should invite people on when they attack them, and they shouldn't be so afraid to have the other side of the story on their show. They're welcome on my show anytime. Those are words you'll never hear from them. Go to cbclies.com.